Hello and welcome. My name is Natalie Schlute. I'm your psychic success coach, and this reading here is everything that you need to know in your life at this moment. These are going to be messages from your guides and your angels to help you along your life path, things that you need to know about your health, your relationships, your career, and your mindset, things that are going to really help you shift into the next phase of your life. The way this reading works is I'm going to have you choose from one of these four piles, whichever one jumps out at you, whichever one resonates with you most, and then you can jump ahead in the video to actually experience your card reading. Over here, if you enjoy and you resonate working with crystals, you can choose from pile 1, which has a red tiger's eye on it. Over here is pile 2, which has a quartz crystal. Over here is pile 3, which has an amethyst on it. And over here is pile 4, which has citrine on it. So take a moment and just feel out which pile resonates with you, and then you can jump ahead to your individual reading. For those of you that chose pile number 1 with the red tiger's eye, this is your initial spread. So this is kind of the foundation of where you are currently at and what you're moving into. We have the Queen of Pentacles, which is in reverse. So there's a little bit of confusion in your life, some doubts, some fears, with the Page of Pentacles also being reversed, some insecurities. But all of that, this has to do with the physical realm. So things around your body, around your environment, maybe some of the career things that are going on with your life. If you're kind of in the process of moving, I'm sensing that some of you are experiencing some life shifts right now. These are some major cards. You actually have 3 major cards, which is really big. So major cards mean just larger life events that are happening. So things are a little unsteady for you. There's a little bit of confusion, some doubts, some fears because of how things have been turning out recently in the recent past. But the great news is that things are moving forward in a really beautiful way. You have the 7 of Pentacles, which is on the up and up. So this means more money coming into your life, more abundance, better health. A lot of things in your physical environment are on the up and up and are improving right now. So even though you may have been feeling like things are kind of stuck and things are just not going away, maybe you've been feeling like you're having some bad luck, things are actually shifting in a really positive direction for you. And the Queen of Swords just moves on up in that same direction, where all of a sudden all these things that felt like they weren't working out were actually, I'm sensing for a lot of you that these things were happening in order to get you to the next step. Sometimes what happens when we're up leveling really fast, when we're moving forward, when we're manifesting things and we're shifting out of a lot of old patterns, it feels like the world is kind of falling apart, like we're a little bit lost, we're confused, we're feeling insecure, we're having a lot of doubts. But then those things need to fall apart in order for things to really thrive, in order for things to come to fruition, for you to really master your mindset here and come into your own power, so that you start to embrace your authenticity, to embrace who you truly are, to take your power back in a feminine but also a very strong way, in a level that allows you for confidence in the long run. A queen has a lot of power, and the sword really represents the mindset that it takes to overcome a lot of things so that things can come into fruition in a much bigger way for you. Your next 2 cards, Wish Upon a Star. Make a wish and expect the very best, in reverse. And then we also have Decide. It's time to clearly make a decision about what you want. So these 2 cards here I'm sensing there is a bit of a connection with them. So for you, you might have been wishing and hoping for things to change for you. When we come from the emotions of wishing, like I really wish upon a star, I hope things are going to change, it's a very passive way of desiring and manifesting something into your life. When we're in the wishing stage, we're not taking any action. We're just kind of sitting back and expecting things to happen. And that's why it's feeling a little sticky. It's in the inversion position, and it's actually in the inversion along with these other 2 cards, because you've kind of just been sitting back and letting things happen. But in order for things that you wish to come to fruition, in order for you to manifest the things you really want, you have to make some decisions. You have to take action. You have to move forward. Be clear about your decisions and and really move into your life, in order for things to come to fruition, we must have some actionable affirmation. So instead of just wishing for something, what are you actually going to do to get there? What decisions are you going to make to help you get from feeling stuck to moving into that abundance, to that financial abundance, to things coming to fruition for you where you're back in your power? Making decisions quickly and with your intuition and being very logical and rational for you is going to be what gets you to where you want to go. So I highly recommend that you become a little bit more decisive. Don't be holding yourself back because you feel like you're just waiting for things to happen for you. Decisions is how things are going to come to fruition for you a lot faster. We also have for you the High Priestess. This is one of my favorite cards. I love the High Priestess in tarot decks because this is the intuitive, psychic, realm. This is where you're really tapped into your higher self. And this is a major card. So there's a lot of great things happening. As you come into fruition with your own confidence, it's going to come from this higher source, this higher realm of intuitiveness, of tapping into your angels. Archangel Hanael is here to help you with that. So really start listening to your intuition, have patience, consider carefully what you want before acting. So as you make those decisions, they are going to be coming from your higher self, which I already mentioned, but it's just confirmed once again in this card here. And we also have the Knights of Water. So what you've been experiencing lately might be a lot of emotional things going on, right? The cups are representation of our emotions, our romantic life, the inner world, the inner experience of how we receive and experience life on a day-to-day basis. So we have here falling in love or wedding proposal, the need to balance emotions, an invitation to a social event. So the Knight is a very active card. It's the knight. When you think of a knight in shining armor, it is someone who is going and taking action. It's someone who is very decisive, someone who is making things happen, not just sitting back and wishing upon a star and waiting for things to happen. This energy is being decisive and following your intuition, being in your queen power so that you can create that financial abundance, and abundance in whatever it is. It doesn't necessarily have to be money. I mean, you can have abundance in your relationships, in your friendships. You can have abundance in the way of travels, abundance in the way of you suddenly came to fruition with a career that's really in alignment with you and helps you to feel balanced, like, oh, my life is finally coming together. And there may be some other things happening too, right? There may be some relationships coming to fruition for you. That could be the path you're on. It really depends on what your primary intention was with this reading, what the outcome of this is, because it could be a career thing, it could be a financial thing, but it could also be a relationship thing. Or if you're looking for answers around your health, that can also be it too. So just take note of what you initially were thinking about when you clicked on this reading and when you chose this deck, because that's going to determine the details based off of your individual desires here. But being more social and being more tightly connected on an emotional level is really where you're at. And then also we have for you these two beautiful cards. Look at these. Okay, so we have the Daughter card. The answer to your question involves your daughter. So keep in mind whether or not you have a daughter. The daughter represents an energy. It represents a soul relationship. So you may or may not have children, and that is perfectly fine. But what the daughter represents is the feminine aspect of yourself, the child, the inner feminine energy within you. So this is also very tightly connected with your intuition, right? With your higher self and with the High Priestess. And the reason why I say that is because when you can tap into your feminine inner child, even if you're a male, we have a feminine emotional side, right? We've got the Knight of Water over here, and that water also represents emotions. And so when we can tap into our emotional side and tap into the emotions that we're feeling, that's where your intuition is really going to come in strong to help you make better decisions so that everything will come to fruition the way you desire it to. And then healed healer. Healing energy surrounds you in this situation. With everything that you move forward with in your life, there is always going to be the next level of healing. It may be healing on a physical level. It may be healing on an emotional level. It may be healing on a spiritual level. Really, for those of you who are kind of maybe new to this realm, new to intuition, new to connecting with your angels, healing might just be learning how to tap into your intuition, learning how to listen to your guides and angels, learning to know the difference between that voice and the voice of the ego. That might be the message for you here. Kind of healing some of that inner child, the wounds from your past childhood might be a big part of your healing in order to rise to the next level and overcome some of the things that we may have experienced in childhood. If you were teased, or if you were judged by your friends or your family, if you were shut down and you didn't feel like you can express your emotions as a child and you didn't feel free to be yourself, that may cause you to be indecisive and feel really stuck because you're not moving forward with your intuition. You're kind of just wishing for things. So my recommendation, and what I'm picking up for those of you who chose this pile 1, is that you are coming into a spiritual awakening right now. And even if you feel like you've already are very spiritual, because many of you that receive this are already following your intuition in a lot of ways. You already have a great relationship with your guides, your angels, with God, with Jesus Christ, whoever you follow. Many of you are already there, but this is taking it to the next level. For there are some of you that are listening to this and have chosen this and are watching this that are new to this realm of intuitiveness, of doing the inner child work, of healing the emotions, but many of you are already in that process. So just take it to the next level. Wherever you are at, call in your angels, call in your higher self, start following your intuition and listening to those subtle nudges, those subtle positive nudges throughout the day that you might be hearing in your mind. They may sound like your own thoughts, but they're really helping you to get to where you want to be so that we can end up in a space where you're really in your power and your confidence and you're manifesting a lot of abundance in your life, a lot of beautiful things. So let's get out of the wishing stage. Let's start tapping into the intuition, getting some healing going on, and be really decisive and clear about the direction and what you want so that you can move forward faster in your life. If you love this card reading here, be sure to give this video a like and subscribe so you can stay tuned for more readings. And if you decide that you would like more one-on-one coaching, going a little bit deeper into your own personal things, I'm more than happy to connect with you and do a reading with you. So go ahead and check out the links below if you're interested in that. For those of you that chose pile number 2 with the clear quartz, this is your initial layout here. So this is what's been going on with you recently and the direction that you're kind of moving in right now as well. You've been feeling very defeated. So the 10 of Swords, this is definitely a space of feeling lost. It's like you're kind of at your wit's end and it's time to surrender. There may have been some betrayal here with a friendship relationship, but you're at a point where you're really transitioning. You can't keep going the way you're going, and it's time to let go and surrender the outcomes so that you can move forward in your life. The 10 of Pentacles, this is an area where you're also feeling a little bit stuck. Normally, if it was upright, it's a place of fruition, of community, of things really falling into place, but it's in reverse. So there's some judgment that you've been experiencing, and I feel like it's very closely related with whatever experiences you've been recently going through, or possibly even something that you've gone through in a little more distant past, but you're still holding on to. There's still some judgment, some resentment, some things with the past that you're not letting go of that are actually getting in the way of you moving forward with your life and taking action. So take a moment to think of the intention that you set when you decided to click on this particular reading. What's been going on in your life? What have you been feeling stuck around? Why do you feel like there's something you need to know? And I really want you to take a look at your actions. Normally, the Magician, when it is upright, is a very powerful card. It's taking action. It's actually someone who is very resourceful, who makes things happen, right? The Magician is a doer. The Magician gets things done. But for you, it's the opposite. So part of why you're not getting things done is because you're holding on to some resentment, some betrayal, some things, some hardships in the recent past that you're still holding on to, and you're letting it get in the way of you taking action right now and moving forward in your life. So what's recommended for you is the hermit. The hermit is someone who really goes inward, who does the inner work, someone who is really ready to up level. But you have to go inward first, right? When it comes to evolving your life, reaching your goals, becoming the person that you truly want to be, it's about the inner work. It's the action that we take is just a byproduct of who we are showing up as mentally and emotionally. So in order to really up level your life, in order to bring to fruition and manifest the things that you want to do, you are going to have to do some inner work. You're going to have to take a good amount of time to learn and master some basic processes of what your subconscious is doing, being self-aware of your ego, of your thought patterns, of your habits, of things that are holding you back, and work through them. You're going to have to work through this stuff so that you can come out on the other side and really create the life that you desire for yourself. It's very possible for you. These are both major cards, which means these are really big elements in your life. These are big time things. These are just little stuff that has happened to you. It may seem big. It may seem very emotional. There may be some big betrayals, some hurt, whether it's business relationships, whether it's personal relationships, love life, a lot of pain, and there could be a lot of stuff. But keep in mind, those past situations, they are done. They are gone. They are moving on. When you look at the large picture of your life, it's going to be a blip, right? So these are small time, everyday type of things. But this pattern of not taking action, of not being resourceful is a big game changer for you. And if you can really let these things go and learn how to reframe them, go inward and do the inner work around your mindset, your emotions, and your patterns, then we can get this to be upright so that you are the magician. Like it's as if magic happens. Like you become a magic manifester when you let go of the old stuff and you really learn how to shift your patterns, because then you become a doer. You become someone who takes action, who actually manifests what they desire instead of sitting back and waiting for things to happen or letting past hurts get in the way of you moving forward with your life. Of course, you get these two cards. Okay, these go right along with everything that I was just saying. Healer, you have the power to help and heal others. You must heal, right? You have to heal these past traumas that you've been experiencing, these past hurt, in order to move forward to what you truly desire. And a big part of that is going to be forgiveness. It's time to let go of anger or blame. I already mentioned forgiveness a couple of times before I even saw this card. I saw it the same time you did. Forgiveness is huge. All the things that are holding us back in life are always illusions of the mind. And those illusions of the mind are the things that we are not forgiving. Things that we hold on to that we're not forgiving around ourselves, past mistakes. We have guilt and shame of things we have done, and then also forgiveness of other people. When we hold on to all the people that have wronged us, right? When we hold on to all the betrayal, when we hold on to that, you are holding yourself back only. As you hold on to that pain, you're not holding the other person back. You're holding you back. Forgiveness is not for the other person. You're not forgiving the other person or even yourself because it sets them free. It doesn't give them permission that, hey, it's okay. Forgiveness is not saying it's okay what you did. Forgiveness is saying, I'm going to be the magician of my life. I'm going to make the magic, and I'm going to choose to let go and not feel this pain anymore, because the moment I let go is the moment this happens. The moment you let go of the pain of the past and you forgive, you no longer hold those low vibrations of anger or blame or resentment. Those are very low vibration frequencies and energies that are not going to help you. Those vibrations are holding you back from manifesting the life of your dreams. And so in order to heal, you must forgive. You must forgive the past. You must let go. You must master that. And I have I have a video and a podcast episode all about how to do the letting go process and forgiving process. I even spent an entire 6 months, this was probably 4 years ago, where every single day I had a forgiveness practice. Just a couple minutes, just a few minutes of going through these forgiveness steps of just asking, who do I need to forgive? What do I need to forgive? Of then acknowledging that that unforgiveness was still in me, honoring it for holding on because it was there to protect me in the first place, and then telling that energy it's time to let it go because it's no longer serving me. It's no longer allowing me to be the magician and the master of my life, and choosing to replace it with a new emotion. That's a really big part of the forgiveness practice that I have found for myself, is that once you choose to forgive and you choose to replace it with a new emotion, you bring all the power back to you. Your next 2 cards here. Pregnancy. Interesting. The birth of a child brings great blessings to you and the world. When it comes to pregnancy, this may be literal. This may also be just something, pregnancy can be bringing anything into fruition, right? It can be creating a new career. It could be a project that you're working on. It could be a new home. It could be a new relationship. It could be the birthing and the blessings of a really big life shift. And this is in reverse. So this is something, I'm actually sensing this is a stuck energy. To be very honest, for most of you, the majority of you, I'm not sensing that this is transitioning. It's nice and easy. I'm sensing this is feeling kind of stuck. And so there's some issues around you feeling comfortable expressing yourself, expressing your creativity, and allowing beautiful things to come into your life. That's what I'm kind of feeling in here. And then we have do some research. You need more information about this situation. Look into it further before proceeding. So whatever you approached this particular reading for, whatever you felt like you were looking for guidance and what you needed to know, whether it was your love life, whether it was your health, your, any other relationships, money, career, finances, all those things, whatever you came in to this reading with the intention, you're going to need to do some research. So let's say it was something about a career. Get online, start really searching some different topics, maybe do some volunteer work and kind of see what's out there for you. You're going to need a lot more information before making any big decisions in your life right now. Same with relationships. If you came in here with the intention of healing relationships or where is my soulmate, you're going to need to learn how to be in relationships, communicate better, be reflective on some patterns, and just learn how to be in a healthy relationship. If you have some old betrayal patterns and some resentment and a lot of that, it's yes, you need to forgive, but you also need to learn how to approach relationships now so that you have healthier, happier relationships. Doing the inner work and doing some research, that Hermit card and doing the research, very, very closely related. They actually have a very similar energy, similar cards, because the Hermit is someone who goes inward and does the inner work. And part of that is learning and researching and educating yourself so that you approach life and your situations from a much healthier point of view. And so that's going to be really important for you. We also have here Awakening, Archangel Gabriel. Look at things from a different perspective, a temporary standstill. It's important to be yourself. So I find this interesting. This is actually inverted, but when we look at it, it almost looks like it's upright, doesn't it? Which is funny because when you flip it this way, it looks upside down, but this is the right side up. So looking at things from a different perspective, I just find that a little bit comical. This is, again, a major card. This is a major tarot card, which means it's a big life event for you. And creating this awakening is going to be looking at things from different perspective. Again, we kind of have that same theme coming through multiple times with the Hermit, doing some research and looking at things from a different perspective. You need to be looking and doing the research and going inward and experiencing all of that in order to shift these old patterns to bring to fruition new things that you want in your life. And then we also have the Ace of Water. Falling in love or the resurgence of a relationship, spiritual growth and enhanced intuition, a new home. So the ace always represents new beginnings of a home, of a relationship. For some of you, it might actually be career too, but for some reason, I'm sensing a lot of you came in with some relationships and spiritual stuff when you chose to do this particular reading. And the Ace of Water, it's also the Ace of Cups, which really represents the emotional point of view of our life, the emotional experience. So that's why there's so much relationship kind of in this. And again, relationships are also related to past events, past betrayals, past unforgiveness. So there is a very strong theme of healing yourself, healing your relationships, healing the past, and really going inward, doing the research, having your forgiveness practice, and really looking at things from a very different perspective so that things can kind of fall into place for you. Things are going to happen soon, right? The Ace of Water, things are happening. Things are actually manifesting for you. There's kind of a little bit of a new chapter opening up with this situation for you. So things are on the move. Things are happening. I'm actually getting a very good feel, a very good energy for all this. Even though there was a lot of stickiness and a lot of things to work through, these are all of your guiding points. So make sure you have your little checklist of things to do, of doing your research, your forgiveness practice, different perspectives, all this kind of stuff that we just created here for you. These are all your messages, all of the actionable things to do to get unstuck and to really come into your power. So I love this. Your angels are here. They are guiding you. They are ready to help you. Just ask them. Be sure to ask them out loud. Your angels and your guides love to hear your voice. They don't always enjoy going through your thoughts one by one. Unless you connect with your angels every single day and you've built a really strong relationship with your guardian angels, I highly recommend you start asking them out loud to guide you in this process and be there for you to help you evolve right now so that you can really manifest what you desire in your life. So I hope you enjoyed this reading for yourself. Please give this video a like and subscribe if you enjoy this so you can get more readings that are coming up, more guidance, more education. And if you're interested in going a little bit deeper, if you do have some relationship things going on or other career things, I'd be more than happy to help coach you with your soulmate relationships, how to show up better, maybe some specific activities that you can be doing to do that inner work to heal some of these traumas that have been coming in for you. And so I do have a link in the description below if you would like to set up an appointment so that we can do either a reading for you or even just a coaching, some actionable things so that you can really start to move forward in your life and create the results that you desire even faster. For those of you who chose pile 3, this is your initial tarot card setup with your amethyst crystal here. We have a lot of beautiful transition. I feel like all of these readings so far have been really positive, starting with things being a little bit stuck and moving towards coming to beautiful fruition. You're actually on the move already. You have a lot going on. There's a lot of movement here. Temperance is balance, right? We can see this beautiful woman that has water that she's pouring back and forth. This is the balance of life, the give and take, the ebb and flow, both energetically in the physical world, in the mental world, and in the emotional world. You've been coming out of a time that you've been feeling a little bit stuck, a little bit of out of balance lately. Things have not been feeling like they're really balanced. You know, you might have been indulging yourself and kind of letting things go a little bit recently, just getting out of your routine, or things just haven't been feeling balanced is really essentially what's happening here. But that's already moving. Because we have the Chariot next. And the Chariot, this is a powerful movement, right? A Chariot moves forward very, very quickly. There's a lot of action happening. And I find it very interesting that you have 3 major deck cards. So these are big life changes for you. You're going through a lot right now. You got a lot coming up for you, and it's happening very fast. So even though you've had a big period in your life where things have been out of balance, you're on the move. Like you're already transitioning. You're already moving forward with your life. And then the 6 of Swords, I mean, you're still moving forward. These are both action oriented, right? A Chariot moves forward. And then you see the 6 of Swords here, a man on a boat, and he's he's actually moving on a river. He's traveling forward. So these are both traveling and movement energy, both in the everyday little things, a lot of changes coming back into balance here. And then this also has a little bit of the balance duality. When you look at the two heads on the chariot, black and white, the duality of life, and that's kind of bringing things into balance too. And then over here, we have the Queen of Wands. She is in her power. She is secure. She is confident. She is following her intuition. And she's in her power. She knows what she wants. She's living a passionate life. She's following her spirit, and she's on the move. So you're already in a really good place. I'm going to say this has been the best deck in this series, because there's just so much happening. So I really encourage you to just go with the flow of this and keep following your intuition, because you have a lot of really good things happening in your life right now. Next, we have happy thoughts. To feel happy right now, think about a memory or something else that makes you smile. Wonderful little piece of advice. If you're ever feeling out of balance, right? We put that right on top of the temperance. That's out of balance. Just shift your thoughts. Just be aware of your thoughts and focus on some happier thoughts in order to be in your power a little bit more. And then we have the card of light. See the light within yourself and everyone else. So in order to really stay in the power of the Queen of Wands, which is your intuitive confidence that we're moving towards right now in your life, what's going to help you is to get out of the ego, to get out of a space of judgment, and to move into a space of compassion. So I'm going to flip this over. You can see it a little bit better. Is see the light within yourself and everyone else. So a big part of being tapped into your intuitive guidance, tapped into your angelic energy, your higher self, is going to be coming from a space where you literally see light in every person. You are focusing on the good thoughts that you experience with every person that you encounter. That is going to be where your true angelic intuitive power comes from. That's going to help you move forward faster and really bring things into fruition for you. So whatever intention that you set for this reading today, whatever you were looking for answer-wise, what you really needed to know, because some of you came here for things about relationships, some of you it's career, some of you it's money, just really depends on what you jumped in and hoping to find. Being in the light, keeping your thoughts positive is going to be important. So what I'm sensing is for many of you, and this is a pattern that we all experience, so no one is immune to this rule. You might have been stuck in some patterns of judging others, judging other people on the path that they were on. Because again, this started out reversed, right? So judging other people, and that judgment is also reflected in how your self-talk is. Because if you're judging other people, you're also judging yourself. And so it's important to keep your thoughts happy in order to move forward with your life in the direction that you really want to see it manifesting. So next we have whom do you need to forgive? So you're having some troubles. I'm sensing the judgment as well. Forgiveness has a lot to do with judgment. As you release old anger or resentment, you will find that your wishes will come true. So we're shifting a lot of patterns. Like the key is keep your thoughts positive and keep those happy thoughts, because when we're not seeing everyone in their best light, that's when we start judging them, and then we are not compassionate with mistakes that other people have made. We're not compassionate towards the journey that they have been on. Keep in mind, if anyone has ever wronged you, if anyone has ever treated you badly, it was not because of you. They did those things. They hurt your feelings. They were verbally abusive, physically abusive, and were just really rude to you or did something bad towards you, not because of you, but because of the pain that they were in. Happy people do not do bad things to other people. Happy people only do happy things. People that are suffering inside do bad things. They are the ones who make the biggest mistakes that hurt other people because they already have the anger and the pain inside them. So I really encourage you to continue to have compassion for other people, see the light in them, and also see that their patterns just have compassion for where they were at and learn how to forgive, because forgiveness will set you free and help you move forward faster. Look at this, another travel card. Oh my goodness. I'm now sensing that there's a lot of travel because the Chariot is traveling. The Sword of Six also represents travel. And then you have this travel card right here. Very obvious. An upcoming trip provides to be life-changing in a positive way. So not only am I sensing there's a lot of movement in your life, but you have travels. That's kind of undeniable. Like 3 out of these 7 cards already all relate to travel. So I'm excited for you because I love traveling. Hopefully you love traveling. There's definitely some wonderful things that are going to come from that. You're going to be manifesting into your life, which is really, really cool. And then here we also have, to kind of finish things off and round things out, King of Earth and Queen of Water. King and Queen, they're both in their power, right? This is really interesting because you have the female energy and the male energy here. And what I'm noticing is you actually have a lot of cards that have some duality. Temperance is also balancing things. And then the Chariot is also balancing duality. So there's a little bit of this imbalance, and I'm sensing that the imbalance that you've been experiencing has to do with your masculine and feminine energy. We all have masculine and feminine energy. So both males and females have both energies, and it's important to be in both of those energies. So King of Earth is very generous, professional, responsible, practical, a successful time, confidently accept opportunities you're offered, the Midas touch. And so I would just be open to some opportunities. You might have some doubts or fears or some things that are holding you back from receiving that if you're in a passive state, which you're not really, because there's a lot of travel and energy movement in your cards. But just be open and be aware of these opportunities that come towards you so that you don't miss out on them. It's going to be very important for you. And then the Queen of Water is tender-hearted, empathetic, patient, loving. Relationships develop to a new level. Trust your intuition, care for yourself and others. So this feminine energy of your emotions and your relationships is coming in again, just like these other 2 cards of forgiveness, letting go of judgment, seeing the light in everyone, and then also really cultivating and trusting these loving relationships in your life. There's definitely, and these are, interestingly enough, these are all reversed. All 3 of these relationship cards are reversed for you. So that's another really big theme, which I find very interesting. I feel like you've got a couple things going on in your life right now. Some readings are very cohesive. You've actually got like 2, 3, 4 different messages coming in for you. So you've got a lot going on in your life, which is a great thing. Action and travel. The other theme is working on your relationships, working on your judgment, working on your forgiveness, creating some healthy relationships there, and then just coming back into balance. There's a lot of coming back into balance with your thoughts. So those are the 3 like kind of over-encompassing messages for you. And they're all elements that are showing up in your life right now. I'm sensing that they're not necessarily like closely tied. They're just like, hey, these are all 3 things that you need to work on. Work on some balance in your life. Work on reframing, your thoughts with that balance. Heal the relationships, and then just keep taking action and have fun traveling. Really enjoy that and enjoy the process. So you've got a lot of things on the move here, a lot of good things that you're experiencing. So I'm really excited to see how things turn out for you in the very near future. If you enjoyed this reading here, be sure to like this video and subscribe so you get to find, all of the new readings that come out and other teachings that I have on manifestation, intuitive development, and so many other things that'll help you really move through your journey a lot more easily. And if you're interested in doing any one-on-one coaching so that I can help give you some more specific guidance, some actual tangible things to do to help you through your manifestation process, feel free to reach out to me for that as well. I'll make sure I put a link in the description below so that you can book a session. For those of you who chose pile 4 with citrine, this is your initial setup and reading of what's been going on in your life recently and what's to come as well. You start out with 3 of Cups, so you have a very strong community, a very, it may be one friend, it may be multiple friends. This is actually a really beautiful card, and there's a good foundation that's going to help you through your journey in life and with the things that are coming up right now for you as well. So that's what the 3 of Cups represents. We also have 3 of Wands, but it's inverted. So normally it's moving forward. It's a journey in life, but because it's inverted, what this means is you actually have some obstacles that are in your way right now, which actually might be why you chose to do this reading today, why you clicked on this video, is because you've been feeling a little stuck. You have some things that are coming up and it's a little bit frustrating. Now you do have the 9 of Swords, and although it looks like an intense card, because it's in reverse, it's actually a very good thing. Normally when the 9 of Swords is upright, there's a lot of anxiety, a lot of fears, you have a lot of inner demons, that ego voice that's coming in and really pulling us down. But in the reverse, there's actually a lot of healing happening. You're moving forward, you're kind of coming out of things. So that's a really good sign here. Now we also have the King of Swords that's in reverse. So normally the King of Swords is you're in your power and your mindset is really sharp and you're on point, but because it's in reverse, there's still a little bit of resistance. There's some impatience. You're kind of impatient right now with some of the obstacles that you have going on. Even though things are transitioning, you're not in the flow of the transition. You're not quite in your power just yet. And so there's some resistance to allowing things to flow a little bit better. So I highly recommend that you lean on your friends a little bit. Lean on the people in your life that will be able to support you through these things that are going on. But I'm also sensing that whatever is going on right now, it's small stuff. Like if we were to zoom out in your life and look at the big picture, the things that are happening that you're feeling stuck and kind of moving through right now, 5 years down the road, a decade down the road, it's really not going to matter. Even a year from now, and for some of you, it may not matter at all. So take all of this life stuff that's happening, that's feeling a little sticky, a little confusing, take it with a grain of salt, gain some perspective on it. And don't be so impatient about it, because the energy of being impatient around the obstacles that you currently have, this is going to hold you back more than the actual obstacles themselves. This is kind of the funny thing about life is the problems themselves, the obstacles themselves are not the problem. The big problem, the thing that actually holds us apart from manifesting the life that we desire, is our thoughts. It's our thoughts. The more you focus on the problem, the bigger the problem becomes. And suddenly, this little tiny problem that probably shouldn't hold you back from anything is holding you back because you keep thinking about it. You keep wondering, why me? Why is this happening? And that energy of repetitively bringing up the little problems in life is really what's holding you back. That's actually, and this is a major card, which means that it's a card that is going to hold you back for a larger chapter in your life. These will move very quickly. These are just little everyday things. But if you keep repeating the negativity and you keep talking about your problems and you keep dwelling on your problems instead of focusing on what you really need to be focusing on, which is finding joy and being in the present moment and being mindful, if you're not doing those things and you keep dwelling on this, you're actually going to stay stuck a lot longer. This should move fast, but it's your thoughts that are causing you to feel like, things are not working out the way you want them to. So it's all you have to do is make some inner shifts. Let go of stress, of course. Of course that came up, right? Relax, everything's okay. So funny. I love card readings because sometimes it's just so obvious. Like I haven't looked at any of these cards before I flipped them over, and I just gave you those exact words, right? Let go of stress. Don't take on other people's stress. Breathe it out. Really, it's just about letting go of this, letting go of all these patterns. And what a beautiful card. Look what happens when you let go. Look how gorgeous that photo is. Absolutely love it. And then relax. Everything is okay. Don't worry. It's all going to be fine. This is inverted because you are worrying, right? this is happening because that's what's going on in your mind. This is, you're specifically worrying about these little things going on in your life. And I know it seems like big things. I don't want to say little things. It's not like, oh, I literally dropped the gallon of milk and it spilled all over the floor in the kitchen. That's not the little things I'm talking about. By little things, I mean a breakup that feels like a really big deal right now. I'm talking about you lost your job, or you're having trouble finding work right now, and it seems like a big deal, but it's actually not. Like, when you zoom out to your whole life, it's going to be a smaller deal than you think it is. So it may appear to be a big deal right now, but in the grand scheme of things, it's not. And so just gain some perspective, trust your guides and angels, follow your intuition, take the actions that you need to take, and move forward. The more you relax and the more you let go of all the stress, the faster things will come into fruition for you. The faster things will evolve. And again, lean on your friends. You have some really great friends that are there to support you through this time that feels really hard for you. I'm not trying to belittle what's going on with you, because you do have some stuff going on, but it's the worry that's holding you back. And it's letting go of stress that will help you move forward even faster. And some other things that are going to help you. Beautiful. I love these. These are really, really great. If you don't already know, connecting to nature, like physically connecting to the earth, is huge. We have a balance. We are all energy, right? We are more energy than we are physical matter. And the human body has positive and negative electrons in it. And just like the earth has a positive pole and a negative pole, so does the human body. And when we get out of balance, often, if you're indoors a lot, if you are around lights and TVs and you're looking at your phone all day and you're not getting out and getting some sunshine, if you're not putting your feet in the dirt, in the sand, in the ocean, in the grass, then the balance of your body, the polarity of your body can get really out of whack, and that can actually affect you emotionally and mentally. So connecting to nature, you're rejuvenated and inspired by spending time outdoors. This is going to help your healing process. By literally connecting to the earth and actually earthing. You can call it earthing or grounding. Grounding is another term. You can Google that. I actually have a video that I made probably 3-4 years ago specifically about earthing. When you connect to nature, you open yourself up to healing faster, to gaining a much wider perspective. Like, suddenly all the answers come to you. I actually go every other day and I walk down to the beach and I stand in the ocean, literally just so I can talk to my angels very easily, get some grounding and balance my energy, because my life feels so much better and so different when I do that. So I highly recommend that you connect to nature. That is very, very important. So don't take that one lightly, like really take that one in. And then patience, please. What you're asking for is coming about. Have patience, as there are unseen factors that need to occur first. Keep in mind, if you feel like things are not coming to fruition as fast as you want, things are not falling into place, just be patient. It will happen for you. Things will happen. Things will move forward. But again, the more stress you hold on to, the more you worry, and the less patient you are, the more turmoil you're going to create for yourself, and the further you are going to push yourself away. Not that you're literally pushing yourself away from what you want to manifest, but you're just going to slow down the process. Like, things will come to you much faster if you open yourself up and create some balance in your mind and start reprogramming your mind to know that you are okay and know that everything is actually working out in your favor, even though you can't see it at this very moment. And we also have here, interesting. You have two major cards, both the Empress and the Emperor. I find that very interesting. In the last reading, there was also a female and male energy in the exact same spot at the end of the reading, which I find very, very fascinating. Those were actually minor cards, but yours are major cards, which means this holds much more weight for you than it does for pile 3. But we have the Empress. The Empress is in her psychic power. She is in her feminine energy. She's extremely powerful in her feminine energy. And then the Emperor. Archangel Michael and Archangel Gabriel. He is very much in his masculine power. These are both in reverse, so there's a little bit of imbalance happening here for you, which is also represented in those initial cards that we saw with some of the life situations and where your mindset is right now. So I encourage you to kind of come back to this balance. So understand that whether you're female or male, it doesn't matter. We all have male and female energy. The male energy in us is the go-getter, the doer, the person who moves things forward, who's very logical. It says here, organization and logic, structure and discipline, leadership, right? So that's the energy of the male. Female energy, very flow, very patient, very intuitive, lavish abundance, give birth to your dreams, nurture yourself and others. So it's a very nurturing energy. If you can do your best to experience both of these energies on a daily basis, where you're being intuitive, you're working on healing yourself, letting go of your stress, trusting that everything's okay, connecting to nature, all of these cards are really feminine energy, but in order to practice those things, you have to be organized. You have to take the time to do it. You have to be disciplined and structured and actually schedule the time to be in nature. Actually schedule the time to de-stress, do some meditation, journal, whatever it is you need to do, and take the time out of your day to recognize when you're feeling out of alignment, when your thoughts are out of alignment. Catch yourself and retrain yourself to trust that everything's okay and to have some patience. So you do have some work to do here. Overall, everything is going to work out for you. It really will, but there's a lot of inner work that you in particular need to do. This particular spread is heavy on taking action, on doing some of the inner work on your mindset, reconnecting with nature, and letting go of some of these old patterns of worry and stress, and really coming back into balance. This is going to make a really big difference for you to come back into your angelic power, because this is really where you're meant to be. Again, you have some really big major cards going on here. You have the King, the Emperor, and the Empress. So there's a lot of action that needs to be taken. So hopefully this inspires you to make some new moves in your life that help lead you in the right direction. You're already on the right path. Just call in your angels, follow that inner guidance, and start moving towards more of what you desire instead of allowing yourself to be stuck inside your mind. Just make those quick little mental shifts and start taking some actions, and use the support of your friends and your family that are here to help you along this journey. If you enjoyed this particular reading for yourself, please give this video a like, a thumbs up, and be sure to subscribe so that you get notified every time I have a new reading and some new teachings for you on my channel. If you're interested in having a one-on-one reading where we can go a little more deeper into some specific things that you can do, some accountability, and really learning how to work with some of these energies for yourself, some tools to get unstuck with your mindset and really practice this letting go and retraining yourself, then I'd be more than happy to do some one-on-ones with you. Go ahead and take a look in the description below to sign up for and schedule a one-on-one session with me. Thank you so much for being here today. I hope you enjoyed your reading, and I can't wait to see you in the next episode.